Hello. In this video, we are going to talk about the front right corner of Desert Village, which is basically this building, and we'll cover these block piles, right? And I'll talk about basically everything over here, right? Just next to Hunter Spawn. Hey, let's go! He joined! I'm just kidding, I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, so now we have basically next to this building that we already went over, the bookshelf stack. And basically, there's only a total of 2 bookshelves here. So if you see 3, for instance, 2 in a row like this, 2 in a row like this, right? You have 3 like this. Basically, if you see 3 bookshelves, it's fake. Right? Over here with the TNTs and the furnaces, basically for the TNTs, if you see 5 TNTs like this, it's fake. This is the most common spot, in my opinion. If you see a TNT on top like this, it's fake. That's basically it for the TNTs. If you see 5, it's fake. For the furnaces, it's typically going to be a furnace on either side. So like either here or here. That's how you know it's fake. Right? So now, I like saying that now. I like saying that. For the hay bale stack, right, most common spot is to see 2 hay bales in a row right here. Right? But also if you see like it cubed off, I like saying that, cubed off like this would be a fake hay bale. Right? That's basically it. For the hay bale right here, basically just a total of 3 hay bales. So if you see 4, like this, or even a hay bale on top of the stack, that's how you know it's a fake hay bale. Right, and so now we have these sheep, basically a total of 3 sheep. You should only see 3 here. I tend to just hit them as I pass by, of course, because they roam around a lot. Able to count instantaneously, right? Basically a total of 3 sheep. Okay, so now we are going to go over the entire building right here, starting with the downstairs. So for the downstairs, we start with these hay bales. On the left side, we just have a staircase right here. Basically, I would just kind of memorize this spot right here. See a hay bale right here, it's fake. And sometimes you even see a square of hay bales like this. This would be fake as well. Again, any modification of the staircase like this or this would be fake. Over here with a cauldron and the TNT, usually it's either a cauldron or a TNT, obviously, next to it, right? Sometimes you'll actually see it, so it's really important that you know this. With this kitchen over here, think of it as pairs. You have a pair of cakes, a pair of flower pots, and a pair of cakes. And basically it's just the number 2, right? 2, 2, and 2. You also have 2 gaps in the wall, like there's a gap right here and a gap right here where you might find a block. So there should be 2 gaps, right? Typically not a TNT, but like a furnace or an anvil in one of those 2 spots. The only thing that doesn't really have a pair here is this cake, right? This cake doesn't have a pair. If you see a actual pair of cakes here, for instance, like this, then that will be fake, right? And so that's basically it for this kitchen area. Sort of gives you a good way to think about it. For these bookshelves, the most common spot is to find a bookshelf leaning up against the wall right here, right? Sometimes you'll even see a bookshelf right here. So that's basically it, right? Now right here you shouldn't find, like sometimes you'll see a flower pot right here. There should only be 1 flower pot over here, so if you see a flower pot on top of these stairs like this, it's fake. You should never see hiders like on top of like flower pots on top of stairs. It never really happens, but it does happen. Right. Now we get to the upstairs. Right, for the upstairs, basically there's like 2 doors, right? There's one there, one here. 3 doors, my bad. Okay. But as for the upstairs, typically sometimes you'll see a hider in this specific spot, either a flower pot or a cake here. So if it completely fills it like that, it's fake. For the melons, most common spot is to find a melon in this hole. But if you see a melon either right here or right here, that would be fake as well. Right. And for the bookshelves, it's again, most common spot is to see a bookshelf right here. The anvil, even though they face the same direction, you'll sometimes find an anvil here. Now, this is, usually you don't find hiders over here, but sometimes you do. You typically never find hiders like in this anvil stack with these hay bales or these TNT, so I'm just going to ignore it. You can go up here to the third layer. You have some cauldrons, so if you see 3 cauldrons in a row like this, it's fake. Right, if you find a hider in this room, right, for instance an anvil right here sometimes happens, you can actually go inside this painting. Many times you will find a flower pot right here. I like saying many times you will see this, right? Many times you will see this. I like saying that. But yeah, many times you'll actually see a flower pot or a bookshelf right here, so it's important to know that spot. Hiders can actually get up here, but they can't really get up here from the ladders, right? So they can't really get up there. The way they actually get up there is they can go on the edge right here. Right, and they go up these ladder. Typically you don't find hiders up here. Right? I've seen infestors in this TNT spot, but typically you aren't going to find ideal hiders up here. Hiders can also get on top of this tree. Right? So, I can't even get on top of those trees, but you can get on top of these trees, that tree, and I think it's up to that tree. Hiders can get on top of these trees, so it's really important to look up there. Right? The other thing is hiders like to sometimes hide like on the edge of the building as random blocks. Typically flower pots. But the only real blocks surrounding the outside of the building is this cake and this flower pot. That's really all you should see. Now we'll talk about the actual like outside area in the front right corner. Right? First things first, the melon farms. These melon farms are not as common as the melon farms near hider spawn. It's really common to find hiders in the 4 or 5 melon farms. But over here, these melon farms aren't super common. Here you have 5 melons, here you have 7 melons. And over here you have 8 melons. So you just gotta really memorize the numbers. You don't have to memorize the position of each individual melon, you just gotta know how many there are. And with experience, you'll be able to easily identify which ones are the fake ones without even having to hit all of them. Because it just happens, right? No, I'm just kidding. But you have 5 melons, 7, and 8. You just gotta know the numbers, 5, 7, and 8 to help you out. Oops. Oh, okay. So now, right, let's go over this stuff. Right, let's start with the furnace stack. With the furnace stack, it's typically gonna be like a furnace on top of this furnace. Typically you don't find furnaces in this furnace stack because, I don't know, it just doesn't usually happen, but if you do see something, it's probably gonna be something like this. Or sometimes a furnace in front of the stack. That's basically it for the furnaces. Over here you should have a total of 3 chickens. Right, just 3 chickens. If you see 4, it's fake. They don't roam around a lot, I don't think, for some reason, but right. For these hay bales, usually you don't find a hay bale here, I'm not gonna worry about it. Now for these bookshelves, you actually have the letter Y. This is actually the letter Y, as you can see with the bookshelves. Just like for the cakes over there, we saw the letter Y with the cakes, we also see the letter Y with the bookshelves. So again, just anything that deviates from the letter Y, right, would be fake. Notice how there's a little difference, right? There is an extra bookshelf here. Sometimes you'll see the bookshelves stacked completely connected to each other. 4 bookshelves in a row like that would be fake. Slightly different from what we saw with the cakes, but you might sometimes even see a bookshelf on top of the letter Y like this. There should only be 1 flower pot over here. If you see 2, for instance, like this, then that would be fake. And that's basically it for this. So now, I like saying that, so now we're going to head over here to this TNT stack. Many times you'll find hiders in this TNT stack. You see 3 in a row like this, it's fake. The TNT stack looks symmetrical, like sort of looks symmetrical, like it's symmetrical. That's how we know it's fake. Right? If you see like 2 TNTs on top of the stack, it's fake. And you'll even sometimes see a TNT behind the stack. Right? TNT that goes too high up. It becomes really easy once you look at the TNT stack a lot because it's a really small stack, so it's not super difficult to memorize. For the bookshelves and flower pots, it's basically just 4 bookshelves, 2 flower pots. All you gotta do is just memorize the numbers. So that's really all it is. And so just 4 and 2. I don't know many of the spots over here because typically you don't find hiders over here. But just if you just know the numbers, it makes it really easy. This bookshelf, don't worry about it. Just know it's a real bookshelf. I don't know why it's here. It's a real bookshelf. Don't really worry about it too much. For the hay bales, notice a really significant structure here. You see, notice how we have the letter T right here, right? That's one part that you should memorize. So any deviation from the letter T, for instance, like this, it's fake. Right, another thing that deviates from the letter T is if you see like a hay bale right here, or if you see 4 hay bales in a row, like this, it's fake as well. You also shouldn't see 2 hay bales on top of the stack. For instance, there's 2 on top like this, it's fake. Right, just like that, right? Just like that. So now, we're going to head over here to what we have here. Sometimes you'll find hiders over here. Again, it's not super common, but you'll find hiders like right here. And that's basically it, right? Sometimes, usually it's infestors in here. Now there is actually a hole right here. Again, typically you don't find hiders here, but this would be a fake hider. You see one there. Right. So that's basically it for yeah, this area. I don't think there's any other holes, is there? I don't think so. Right, that's really the only one. Right? But that's basically it for the front right corner. Let's go over a few more things though, right? We talked about how there are 8 melons here. Let's just go over this little area. Notice there's 3 total pigs here. Now it's interesting because we saw that there were 3 chickens and 3 sheep. So basically in the front right corner, it's all about the number 3 when it comes to the animals. So 3 sheep, 3 chickens, and again, 3 pigs. We do have some flower pots here. It's just a total of 2 flower pots. So if you see 3, for instance, like this, it's fake. Sometimes you'll find hiders inside this cauldron. Right? Right. Let's talk about just this little area. We'll talk about this building. We'll talk about up to these pigs right here. Right. So basically for these, actually we'll talk about these flower pots first. Basically there's a total of 3 flower pots right in front of hunter spawn. So if you see, like, 2 on this side, 2 on this side, or 2 on this side, that's how you know that there's a fake flower pot. Really easy. There's obviously no flower pots in front of it like this. For the bookshelves, it's basically, you see like 3 bookshelves in front of the stack, a square bookshelves, or like a bookshelf behind it like this. That's typically what you see. Right? And after this, we actually do have a cauldron stack over here. Right? And the most common thing to see for the cauldrons is if you see a cauldron hiding behind the cauldron, like literally right here. So it's really important to know this spot. Now we're going to see this structure actually occur a few times in Desert Village. Which basically that same structure we saw, actually we didn't really see this structure yet. But basically, it's a common structure you should be familiar with. Right? And we'll see it many times actually on the left side of the map, so just kind of know this one. Also, for the cakes, basically if you see a cake on the other side as well, right, 2 cakes on either side means that this cake is fake. Over here we have some pigs. Again, there's 3 pigs. So we've been seeing the number 3 a lot when it comes to the animals over here, right? 3 sheep, 3 pigs, or 3 chickens, 3 pigs. We again see 3 pigs over here. Makes it really easy to just know that there's 3 pigs. Right, and for these bookshelves, notice again it forms the letter Y. So again, we've been seeing the letter Y a lot lately. Right? I like saying that, a lot lately. And so basically any modification of the letter Y means that one of the bookshelves has to be fake. Again, there's only 1 flower pot on top of the stack, sort of like the bookshelves over there. There's only 1 flower pot, so if you see 2, that's how you know it's fake. The last thing we'll go over in this video is this house. Right, for the house, basically, I like saying that, basically, right, we have this downstairs, we have an upstairs, and then going even further upward, we have like the literally top area. Sometimes you'll actually find a flower pot next to the anvils right here. Sometimes it's an anvil, right? Either one is possible. And also you might see 2 anvils on top of the stack, that's how you know it's fake. You see 2 furnaces in a row like this, it's fake. Right? Going down to here, right, you see you have 2 cauldrons. So if you see 3 cauldrons, for instance, like this, it's fake. Flower pot you don't really have to worry about too much. In here, sometimes you'll see 3 cakes, like 3 melons like this. That'd be fake. I like saying that. It's funny how I said cake. That's interesting. And that's basically it, right? Not really that important, honestly. These are not really super common spots over here. Sometimes you'll find a furnace or a flower pot inside this little table room. The bookshelves aren't really that important. That's basically it for this building, right? And yeah, that's basically it for this video as well. So we basically, right, and that's pretty much the whole idea, and that's pretty much it.